Well, Arise News is on the ground in the 3 states for the elections. Let's now bring in from Kogi State. We have Benga Ashiru, who's joining us from there. Of course, we'll also be joined by the Attorney George, who is live in Bayelsa. Good to see both of you, gentlemen. You are on top of this, definitely. Let me start with you, Benga Ashiru. I mean, tell us what you're seeing so far in terms of the mood, preparations on the part of Inec. Of course, they've been giving assurances and, of course, security.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ngozi and Sulaiman. It's true. We can confirm to you that the Arise News team is right at the capital of Kogi State, the confluence state at Lokoja, the city of history and adventure. And I can assure you, there's so much to hear, so much untold story from the bank of the river. And right now, election is set to take the center stage, the off-season election, which is just about less than 11 hours to the D-Day, to the time for this election. And election will be taking place in about 5,308 polling units and 338 registration centers, and we have about 1.9 million registered voters with about 1.8 million accredited voters. And right now, the situation brings a strong reminder of the 2019 election that was marred by violence and electoral fraud. But right now, the deployment of security, which is a massive deployment and the biggest in the history of Kogi State and the history of election coverage in Nigeria. We have a total of 45,500 security forces deployed to cover, to ensure, to keep a close watch on those flashpoints. You remember Dekina, that's a very notorious flashpoint in Kogi State that has the highest voting population, which is about half the entire voting population of the entire Kogi State. So the security forces are assuring the voters that it's no longer going to be business as usual, and they are there to present a sense of safety and security to the people, to assure a good voter, an impressive voter turnout in the state. You remember that Kogi State has never enjoyed an impressive voter turnout. In 2011, it has just 39% voter turnout. In 2015, 37% voter turnout. And in 2019, it had 38% voter turnout. When you look at it, elections will be taking place in the 21 local governments in Kogi State, mainly Kogi Central, which is where I'll be covering and reporting live. Omo Bazwai will be reporting from Kogi East, and Mary Chinda is also here, will be reporting from Kogi West. And so it's going to be a blow-to-blow account and a minute-by-minute account of the happenings of election right now. But at the moment, 18 political parties are set to wrestle, to jostle for the seat of power, for the top seat of the Lugard House. But political analysts are narrowing this down to a 3-horse race between Murtala Ajaka of the Social Democratic Party, who is from the Kogi East senatorial district, and that boasts of the highest number of voting population in Kogi State. We have Senator Dino Milai of the PDP, who is from the Kogi West, and also the one from the ruling APC, Usman Ododo, who is from the Kogi Central and who will be voting at Okene local government tomorrow. So it's less than 11 hours to the D-Day, and the mood right now is that of anxiety because of which is quite understandable. It's the anxiety is not misplaced about electoral violence. If you recall the level of electoral violence in the 2019 election, you would understand why there's so much apprehension in the air. But I think people are also determined to change that narrative of a product of an off-cycle election state to a state that would now be able to spearhead that narrative of having a free and fair election.
Well, let's sorry to butt in there, but I already can sense the excitement. You've covered quite a number of elections in the country. Let's quickly go to the southern part of Nigeria, where the election will be taking place in the state of Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan, the state of Bayelsa. Yetemi, good to see you. Quite a whole lot has been said about Bayelsa, the terrain, and of course the arrival of materials. Paint for us a picture first of how excited the people are towards this big moment tomorrow.
Bayelsa is ready. The people of Bayelsa State are also ready to choose their own governor, the man who would govern the state for the next 4 years. Perhaps the woman also, because I understand there is also a candidate who is female. But well, let's look at it. Many think it's a 3-horse race or even more, but that is not for me to say. But I tell you, a lot of persons have left the capital city, Yenagoa, for the local government areas, far-flung communities, the hinterlands, the creeks, the rivulets, the seas. All those water bodies were busy as people were actually traveling, knowing full well that tomorrow there won't be movement on the waterways. That was expressly stated in the security meetings held earlier, even before today. Now I tell you, as they go to the polls, now the people actually looking at this, 1,056,000 registered voters, reduced further to 1,017,613 persons who collected their permanent voter cards. You see how it dropped? And I can wager on election day that number will reduce further. Apathy is now woven fine into the fabric of the electorate in this country. In recent times, we've observed that. Nevertheless, the people are ready to go cast their ballots. Now, people talk about insecurity. People talk about the safety of materials and personnel of the Independent National Electoral Commission. But the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Daniel Pedro, has given us an assurance that, look, the police in their numbers would occupy everywhere to ensure it's a hitch-free exercise. Yes, Daniel Sokari, that's his name. But now, look at this one now. Just a few hours ago, about 3 hours ago, what would have been Black Friday was averted along the Swale waterways when 14 Kolwama-bound ad hoc staff of the Inec fell into the river. The boat capsized, but the people in that community swam to the rescue and helped them. And this is how important it is to wear the life vest. They were afloat before help came. But that's by the wayside. As I said earlier, the people are ready to choose their governor for the next 4 years.